Hey, what's up, everybody? Starting to feel better. My voice is definitely better. I don't sound like shit anymore. So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy to do this video, part two of my Stephen King reread, which is going to take a lot of time, but I'm going to get it done. And I did Carrie before, and now I'm on his second novel, Salem's Lot, published in 1975, and it was it was between this and Roadwork, which was going to be a second novel. And they picked Salem's Lot. Roadwork ended up becoming a Bachman book. And I like Roadwork, but they definitely made the right choice. Salem's Lot is definitely one of my favorite Stephen King books. It's terrifying. It's always been his scariest book for me. Just something about it. There's a sense of dread that you feel reading this book through the whole book, and it's just scary. Usually when I'm sleeping, I wake up a lot. I'm a really light sleeper. I have a book on the nightstand, and usually, I have one of those periods during the night where I can't sleep. I'll grab a book. I'll grab my book, and I'll read myself back to sleep. And I can't do it with this one. So this one took me a little longer. This one's too scary. I'm not going to be reading myself back to sleep with this book. It's just not going to happen. It's just really scary. And a little bit on the background of this book. He wondered aloud one time about what if Dracula came to modern, 20th century, well, then 20th century America, and his wife made some comment about how he'd appear in New York and he'd probably get hit by a taxi or a bus or something. And that's when they decided on doing the rural setting where, a master vampire could be there and kind of take over a town without a whole lot of people, knowing that it's going on. And it's really, like I said, it's really freaking creepy. It was originally titled Second Coming, and then it was changed to Jerusalem's Lot, which is the full name of Salem's Lot. And it was shortened adjacent to Salem's Lot. And he wrote a short story called Jerusalem's Lot before this book when he was in college. Kind of a Lovecraftian kind of thing. And it wasn't published till after this one. It was published, I think it was the first story in Night Shift, his first short story book, which is coming soon. And it's kind of a precursor to it if you read it now. It's way back in the 1800s, I think. But I'll get more into that once I get to Night Shift. But to the plot, it's these guys. There's a writer. A writer, first and foremost, Ben Mears. He's a writer. He used to live in Salem's Lot back in the day. And he has good memories there, and one really bad one. He has mostly good memories of the town, so he decides to go back to write his book. There's this place called the Marston House, which it kind of looms over the town, and he has a really bad memory there of when he went there when he was a kid. He kind of broke in. I don't know if kids do it anymore. They probably don't. They don't really do anything besides. But, when you're a kid, you dare, especially boys, you dare each other to go in places that they shouldn't go in. And, he was dared to do that and bring something out. He went in and he had a vision of the guy who lived there who killed his wife and killed himself. And it's haunted him his whole life. But he wants to write a book having to do with that, having to do with a house like that. So he goes back to Salem's Lot. He meets some people. He meets Susan Norton, who he becomes romantically involved with. He meets a teacher named Matt Burke, who is probably my favorite character in the book. He's kind of a mentor in a way, I guess. He's an older kind of. It's hard to explain, but I like the character a lot. And yeah, while this is going on, this guy, Straker, moves into the Marston house, which has been abandoned for years. And he sets up shop. He sets up his shop in the town, an antique shop, trying to keep, this a facade. But what's really going on is he's covering for Kurt Barlow, who is a vampire, master vampire, who's living in the Marston house. And methodically, these kids, I think it was Danny Glick, who, it's hard for me to keep the Glick brothers straight, but one of the Glick brothers, they're going to their friend Mark Petrie's house late at night. They don't make it there. They're attacked by something. One of them disappears. I think it's Danny who disappears. And then his brother comes back home. He's all sick. He ends up dying, and freaking the other kid becomes a vampire. He turns into Mike Ryerson into a vampire, the guy covering up his grave at the funeral. And really, it's just like a domino effect. This person turns this person into a vampire. This person turns this person into a vampire. And it's just Barlow's scheme to turn this whole town into his underlings, his town of vampires. And it's just really effective and really scary. There's some really disturbing shit in this book. The shit with the baby, the McDougalls. The mother is not nice to the baby. She abuses the baby, which is, it's bad enough. And then the little baby gets turned into a vampire. And it's just, the way they describe it when she's trying to feed the baby, and the baby's dead, and she knows it's dead, but it hasn't registered, and the food falls out of I can't deal with it. I did, though. I pushed through. This is like the third or fourth time I read this book. I really liked it. I love it a lot. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. I think it's the scariest book. And, like I said, Ben Mears, the writer, he's one of the first ones that figures out what's going on. Him and Matt Burke and Mark Petrie. I don't want to give it all away, but they decide they have to fight this vampire and save the town. And Father Callahan, who is the priest in the town, he helps them out. Something happens with him, and he leaves. And the scene with him and Barlow is just great. I don't want to give it away. Just all the things having to do with faith and evil, like pure evil. They get into pure evil, like they get into like little evil, like like a guy robbing a store, a guy doing that. Then the differences between that and just like pure evil, like something like Kurt Barlow, and it's really good. Father Callahan pops up again. Spoiler alert: he survives. He pops up again in the Dark Tower series. I love how he's used in that too, and I don't know. Definitely one of the best Stephen King books of all time. It's only his second book too, and the difference in writing, the quality of writing. Not that Carrie's a bad book, because it's not at all. I like it a lot, but the quality just seems to leap forward from Carrie to Salem's Lot, and I love it. Like I said, I'm gonna stop gushing about this book because got other things to do. But I'm gonna talk about the movies a little bit. There was a 1979 TV series, TV special movie. I don't know. It was on TV. David Soul played Ben Mears, I believe, from Starsky and Hutch, and James Mason played Straker. There's a bunch of people in it, and it's good. I like it a lot. I guess I heard this movie was shortened a little bit and released theatrically in Europe or something, but I don't know. This is the best version, best adaptation of Salem's Lot there's been, I believe. It's really creepy. It's not as creepy as the book, but I gotta show you the book. This is the book I read. This is my copy of the book. I really like how it looks. I really like the quote on the back. The town knew darkness, but no one dared talk about the high, sweet, evil laughter of a child and the sucking sounds. Fucking scary as hell. And that's actually from a specific scene in the book that is scary as hell. So, back to the movies. 1979 series was really good. I found it very creepy, and when I was a kid, there's certain scenes in that movie that stuck with me and made it hard for me to sleep sometimes. Let's just say that. And it's really good. I like it a lot. 2004, there was another TV series on TNT. Rob Lowe was Ben Mears. And some other people were in it. I never actually finished it. I started watching it, and I just did not like it at all. I didn't like the feel of it. Just thought it was poorly done. And someday I'll probably just watch the whole thing, but I didn't like it. I think Rutger Hauer played Barlow. They went back to the book where Barlow is like looks like a human, as opposed to the '79 TV series where he looks like a crazy Nosferatu vampire. But it works. But in the old one. But this one isn't very good. And there was a sequel called Return to Salem's Lot in 1987, which actually had nothing. Stephen King had nothing to do with it. It really has nothing to do with the first movie. You watch that movie, it's like the book and the first movie never took place. It's really stupid. I hate it. It's a really bad movie, and they kind of use the same, I don't know, the same graphic that they use for the first movie, the '79, and it seems a little misleading to me, considering they totally ignore that, what happened in that. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about Salem's Lot. It's a great book. You should read it. I give it 9 out of 10. I guess, yeah, 9 out of 10. Yeah, so that's Salem's Lot. Next one will be The Shining, which is a really big one, really popular one. I'm actually got a good chunk of The Shining done already, so that one should get done quicker than this one did. I'll be able to read this one at night. Let's just say that. Except for that one scene in the bathtub, I don't know if I can read that at night. But that's it. Salem's Lot. Loved it. Love Stephen King. Read this book, folks. Read it. Talk to you later, guys. Have a great day.